On tonight's CTV News, Timaru is ranked first in GDP and employment growth. Cantabrians are spending faster than anywhere else in New Zealand, and Soan District Council receives a special award for its work. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Roadworks in the central city have reached their peak, which has left motorists spending more time in their cars than usual trying to get to their next destinations.
Traffic jams are causing drama in the city. Many motorists have been caught off guard as they make their way to and from work this week. The city's traffic was at a standstill as motorists navigated their way around the changing streets of Christchurch, some taking up to an hour to make their way around the city. The slow-moving traffic has been a result of the key roads in the city being closed and several reduced to one lane. Something Skirt and the Christchurch City Council warned would happen in mid-2014.
Of course, it's not until people see the changes on the ground they realise the impact that it has on their particular journey. 45
crews are working within the 4 avenues, repairing the horizontal infrastructure, which won't be fixed overnight. The Christchurch City Council is urging motorists to plan their commute around the changes.
And then people start to realise, look, we'll have to make some other decisions about our travel plans, and then look to use other routes, other modes, or shift their work time, talk to the boss about coming in later or earlier or working from home, and that really sort of helps ease the burden on the network.
CTV News was out on the street this morning to see how the commuters were faring.
Well, it's slowed up the town around the place, isn't it? Definitely.
It's terrible. Every road is blocked. The one ways, it's a nightmare.
What are your thoughts on the traffic in the city?
Oh, it's pretty crowded at the moment, eh?
Do you reckon it's got worse?
Yeah.
It's part and parcel of living in Christchurch, isn't it?
Skirt has been working to fix the earthquake-damaged pipes, roads and bridges in Christchurch. The repair and rebuild is expected to cost $2 billion.
But it's a compromise between the efficiency of the network and the commuter travel time on the one hand, the efficiency of the rebuild, so we want to get the roads fixed and repaired and the pipes fixed and repaired so we can get on with the vertical infrastructure and the anchor projects. And at the same time, the third leg of this triangle, of course, is making sure that we've got a safe environment for both road users and the people who work on the roads.
The delays won't be around forever. Skirt hopes to be off the streets of Christchurch by 2016. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Cantabrians are spending money at a faster rate than people in other New Zealand regions.
Cantabrian spending is well ahead of national spending. Paymark figures released yesterday show that spending in Canterbury was up 8.2% in March, compared with the same month last year. Total national growth was 6.8%. During March, Cantabrians spent a total of $501 million, up $38 million from March last year. Growth is variable depending on area and sector. Growth was much slower in other parts of the South Island, particularly in South Canterbury. Spending in cafes and restaurants was up by 12.5%. Growth was also high in hardware stores and furniture and floor covering stores. Meanwhile, the accommodation sector is slowing down.
A Christchurch investor battling to carry out his city mall plans is calling for the strict development process for the retail precinct to be dropped. Work on the master plan for the precinct has been delayed, which has developers concerned about losing prospective tenants.
Tim Howe of investment and advisory firm Ocean Partners says the outline development plan process imposed by the Christchurch Central Development Unit has created delays and obstacles which are pushing tenants elsewhere. At a recent Seismics in the City conference, Howe said potential developments have to play the outline development plan game. This requires people to draw up plans covering at least 7,500 square metres in the designated retail precinct area. Tim Howe says there's no way individuals can get together and meet the criteria and devise a plan where one person has control over another's land. Ocean Partners has submitted 2 successful plans unable to be implemented, as the group couldn't buy the land necessary for the scheme's laneways. In spite of 2 years' work, Ocean Partners couldn't get $1 of development capital moving. Tim Howe says the outdoor development plan requirement should be scrapped so a standard resource consent process can take place.
Tahu Properties' decision to demolish the former Christchurch Central Police building is sparking interest about the site's future use. The chief executive of Ngāi Property, which owns the 13-storey building, says after reaching a final agreement with the insurer, the building will be demolished.
Ngāi Property owns the block bordered by Montreal, Hereford and Cashel Streets and Cambridge Terrace. The total area is about 15,500 square metres. Chief Executive of Ngāi Property, Tony Sewell, says it's too early to comment on development plans. The property company is asking for expressions of interest from demolition contractors. A spokesman for real estate company Colliers says Ngāi has the ability to do something special with the site. The spokesman says developing an office building for top-paying tenants could be risky, as there are rising interest rates and a lukewarm demand for A-grade office space. One expert says the location near the Christchurch City Council offices, the Avon River precinct and the Bridge of Remembrance makes it both a historically significant and sought-after spot. The police in Christchurch moved out of the building after doubts around its ability to withstand further quakes. Lewis Bradford Engineers is to manage the demolition, which Tony Sewell had hoped would be done by Christmas. Expressions of interest close on the 11th of April.
Timaru's employment and GDP growth is ahead of other New Zealand cities.
Timaru has ranked first in 5-year GDP and employment growth. In a City Ranking 2013 report released by Business and Economic Research Limited, Timaru was ranked third overall. But in the areas of employment and GDP growth, Timaru is outperforming all other New Zealand cities. Between 2012 and 2013, employment in the district grew by 1.8%, while GDP grew by 3.7%. These figures are higher than the New Zealand average. In 2013, Timaru's businesses generated just over $2 billion in GDP. The largest areas of employment are manufacturing and the primary sector. Timaru Mayor Damon Odie says the reports provide a useful comparative measure for local authorities to monitor their performance and for businesses to identify areas of growth and decline. The city continues to experience steady population growth and looks to continue doing well.
And staying in Timaru, shoppers were forced to evacuate from the Stafford Street Ballantyne store on Friday. A fire broke out in the ceiling in the late morning and was caused by an electrical fault. Women's clothes in the department store suffered damage from the fire extinguishers. The store's general manager says several hundreds of items are now being offered with a discount because of the damage caused to the clothing. Flush with new residents following the earthquakes, the town of Ralston is rapidly growing. The Selwyn District Council estimates the current population of 10,000 will double by 2031. The council is planning for the growth and has won a special award for its work.
Planning for Ralston's future development has been recognised by the New Zealand Planning Institute. The Selwyn District Council won a Best Practice Award in the Strategic Planning and Guidance category for its Ralston work. The project focuses on how the development of the town centre and a new recreation park will improve the quality of life of people living in Ralston and the Selwyn District. The main street will be the heart of Ralston, attracting people to work, shop and play in the town. It will provide new facilities and public places for people to enjoy. The park will be the largest recreation and sporting place in the Selwyn District. It will be used for sports games, training, walking, cycling and community events. It also includes a children's play area. The plans are expected to be adopted later this month by the Selwyn District Council.
And coming up, it's the end of an era for the Pallet Pavilion.
Al Jazeera News, international news right off the satellite, bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of world events. Al Jazeera News, weekday mornings at 6 o'clock, right here on CTV.
Located at the foot of the Potholes, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make your dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
With concerns about resistance, we changed to Eclipse E and the results have been outstanding.
We use Eclipse to grow all our dairy replacements to their full potential.
For optimum weight gains, for 5-star beef contracts, we use Eclipse.
Eclipse, pour-on and injection for cattle. Proudly available from your local vet.
Hurst Auto Dismantlers, your one-stop shop for all your mechanical and car part needs. Our huge premises boasts a large selection of mechanical parts, panels, tyres and glass. Most makes and models are available on site, and if we don't have it, our trusted staff will do their best to source what you need locally and nationwide. So come in and see the team, or just give us a call and save time and money. Hurst Auto Dismantlers, 343 0099.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
It's the end of an era for the Pallet Pavilion. After a large send-off last week, the popular gap filler project is being pulled down.
They arrived by the busload, university students, long-time volunteers and family members, all helping pull apart the Pallet Pavilion piece by piece.
Well, we got the first row out and it makes having the second row out a lot easier because that loosens them up. But I realise there's a lot of floor here.
The bulk of the pavilion has been run by volunteers. Pam Harrington has been part of the team since she stumbled upon the project on a walk through the city.
I thought I'll just ask them what they're on about. I'm always curious. And they said they were wanting volunteers to help pot the plants for the Pallet Pavilion. So I said, well, I might just stop here and give you a hand and ring my husband and say, get your own lunch and I'll be home when I get there.
And now she's helping pull the dozens of plants out as the pavilion is dismantled.
It was sad to see it go, but it's time, and it was only ever designed to be a short-term thing.
The Pallet Pavilion was born from an idea by the gap filler team to brighten the desolate city after the earthquake. It's built on the former Crown Plaza site and is the biggest project undertaken by the gap filler team to date.
We were seeing how many venues were gone from the city. But we realised, we should do something like this.
It was only going to be around for a few months when it was first built in 2012. But ever since, it's held over 250 events. And last year, they raised over $80,000 in 30 days to keep it around for an extra year. But it was never going to be around forever.
So that's really cool, that people are part of this project all the way to the end. And so it's sad, but it's also, that's what it's meant to be.
There's over 3,000 pallets in this pavilion, so it's not going to disappear overnight. It's going to take about 6 weeks for it all to be dismantled. The site's not being abandoned. An intermediary project will fill its place over winter until a new summer project gets underway towards the end of the year. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
More eye-catching artwork has been brightening up Cathedral Square.
Adding colour to Cathedral Square. A large flag wall is refreshing the square's look leading into winter. The artist behind the feature, Sarah Hughes, installed the 648 flags used in the design. She says the flagpoles and flags themselves are laden with meaning and history. The design acts as a protective role within the square with the hopes the movement and colour of the flags would blow optimism and goodwill into the site. The colour of the flags were chosen to contrast against the grey and dusty environment surrounding the square. The flag wall is part of the Christchurch City Council's transitional project. The program is a response to the community's desire to liven the central city through creative and innovative projects.
New Zealand's Fine Food Show had a breakfast in Christchurch yesterday to discuss the food and hospitality industry in the city. Industry leaders believe the rebuild and redevelopment are a boon to the sector. Marcus Gibbs reports.
The table and stage is set for Christchurch's hospitality sector. Industry leaders say there's a lot of opportunities to take advantage of at the moment.
Christchurch is rebuilding, and we know there's lots of new establishments, new restaurants, new hotels, new catering outlets and shopping malls. All this kind of thing is being developed right now, so we have this showcase, 10,000 square meters of equipment, food, beverage, all sitting in one place, and so it is an opportunity for these businesses to come and network and buy products.
Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell says the sector plays to what the region does well.
We've got to be looking for the strengths, that will support our city. So our strength is our region. We are in the Canterbury region, the lush Canterbury Plains. Food and wine, they really are, part of who we are as a region, and playing to those strengths.
The earthquake completely changed Christchurch's hospitality sector. The shakes destroyed buildings and businesses, but in their place, new joints have popped up.
There was a bit of a problem with that, but they're building up again now, especially with the new businesses that are opening or reopening after the quake as premises, come to be available again.
Everything's changed, including the types of venues. Ducks Deluxe was one business before the quakes, now it's two.
So we now have the Ducks Dine and the Ducks Live, which caters to different types of audiences, one for music and one for food. So that is the sort of thing that's happening.
The number of businesses might have shrunk due to the earthquakes, but the city's almost back to pre-quake levels.
Many of those are actually new, so we have new entrepreneurs coming into the business that had found opportunities. There are still about 300 businesses that did not reopen at all, so there is a changing of the guard kind of thing.
Industry experts are predicting further growth as the city continues to rebuild, but in the present time, work on the roads is putting off the punters.
You are still kind of living with having to struggle and fight your way through orange cones and building sites.
Once those traffic cones are gone, business should be back to normal. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Still to come, our weekly review of manufacturing in the region.
I'm Chris Lynch. Join me for CTV's new current affairs show Lynched every Monday at 8:30 right here on CTV, where I talk to the decision makers and those responsible for running our city.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Potholes. To some, a simple hole in the ground, causing no harm and no concern. But don't let that fool you. Potholes are dangerous. Did you know potholes have been linked to numerous nasty falls and flat tires? So if you have a pothole situation on your property, don't panic. Call the Pothole Repair Company. They'll fix your potholes in a jiffy. So next time you see a pothole on your driveway or in your car park, call the Pothole Repair Company.
Ready to go, mate? Flight leaves at 4:30.
Relax, mate. We'll park at Airpark Canterbury.
Airpark Canterbury, privately owned and operated with a free 24/7 shuttle service. Call 0800 Airpark or book online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shand Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
The home show sale is on. Hi, Mike from Four Seasons. We have the largest range of gas and wood burners on display. All wood burners and gas fires are heavily reduced. Save up to $1,300 on fire and flue packages. The home show sale at Four Seasons Home and Leisure, Tower Junction Mega Centre.
Our old favourite shows are back.
Every weekday at 3:30 in the afternoon, CTV takes a trip down memory lane to an old favourite series of ours.
Oh, this? Oh, it's just a new little bauble I picked up.
And what's more, if you miss any during the week, you can catch them all together on Saturday afternoon for the Old Favourites Marathon.
Well, in that case...
CTV's Old Favourites. Weekdays at 3:30 and Saturdays from 1:30.
Made in Canterbury is our new weekly in-depth look at the region's manufacturing industry.
G'day, I'm Patrick Phelps, working for Made in Canterbury. We're down here at Shape NZ to see metal products in all shapes and sizes.
From the big to the not so big, Shape NZ is a sheet metal fabricator, and that involves making a wide range of products. Structural train parts, gaming machines, parking meters and broadband cabinets, to name a few. Most people know a lot of spare change goes into parking machines. Nick Cairns is the business manager at Shape NZ. He says a lot of work goes into them as well. These are probably one of your most distinguishable products. Do you want to just tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, the GIS parking meter is probably familiar to most people around New Zealand. I know they're based in Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, Dunedin. We manufacture these for our customer ITS, who's based up in Auckland, and we do a lot of the metal work. They supply us with a lot of the internal componentry. We assemble the product, we test it, we pack it, and ship it to whichever destination they require, whether that's Auckland or offshore into the US, and they have been sold into Australia as well. So it's a customer that's a global customer, and this is a product manufactured here in Christchurch.
These parts are the finished products for trains over in Australia. We'll get back to those shortly. All of the company's markets are on one side of the Tasman Sea or the other, but from there, the products are sold further afield.
Most of it's Australia, so between Sydney and Melbourne, and that's across gaming machines, parking meter type products and trains. So, you know, we've obviously got value to the Australian market. The New Zealand market being a lot smaller, and bringing in products ex-China seems to be the route to market now for a lot of New Zealand companies looking to access sheet metal parts.
The products they make supply other New Zealand manufacturers and exporters. He says the key to remaining a competitive option for the Kiwi market is to provide quality. Given they supply other local manufacturers, Shape NZ depends on their prosperity.
Some of the changes in New Zealand manufacturing currently, you know, some of our historical markets here domestically are struggling to compete offshore as well. So obviously that has a flow-on effect to a supplier of those businesses, and that's a fairly important part of what we do as well. So that's causing us a few issues.
The big issue for everyone is the high Kiwi dollar, which makes it hard to compete with their products. Products like these gaming machines.
These are gaming cabinets. They're a slant top cabinet, and we export these to Australia. So pretty much every week or every second week there's a container of cabinets, fabricated cabinets off to Australia.
Yeah. And when you say gaming, what do you mean, like an arcade or poker machine?
Poker machines, generally for our customer sells them to Sky City, to casinos in and around Australia and casinos in the US.
As you can see, there's a lot of work to do around the factory, and with a range of products comes a range of jobs.
Approximately 60 staff work here. We've got a wide range, so we need obviously people with customer-facing ability, people with some design experience. We've got engineers, so the problem-solving component comes into it, which is very heavily. We need CNC operators, turrets and lasers, and right down to factory workers, skilled powder coaters, and skilled assembly staff, along with dispatch and logistics. And of course, we've got the administration and finance component of the business.
With work, there's struggle. One struggle being location.
But there's a lot of difficulties for us just due to our location, having to freight a lot of our product offshore, and the lower production run requirements of products here in New Zealand. For a manufacturing business, we really need to access those creating more products, and a lot of our historical customers have moved their operations offshore.
Nonetheless, they remain a force in the market. Clients for these parts, this is the back of a train, regard them among their top suppliers.
On our last review, we were registered in the top 5 suppliers to Bombardier, so we're pretty happy about that when they've got a global supply base. So for a small Christchurch company, you know, it was encouraging to hear what we're doing has some value.
Like the metal parts they fabricate, the company have to be able to remould, reshape and adapt with market forces. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's a look at what to expect this coming week. Durham Street South is down to one lane between Cashel Street and Chewham. Because of the work, there will be significant delays during the morning and evening drive home. This work will be in place for 2 months, and the pinch point in the city is leading to delays right back to Beeley Avenue. Remember, the best way around is to use the 4 avenues, and if you're looking to get through the city, use Fitzgerald on your way through. Keep watching CTV News first at 5 for more updates on what's happening with the Central City roads, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And finally tonight, your regional weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Very wet weather today. Let's take a look at how the entire region fared. First up in Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, 14. Moving on, Ashburton 14 and Methven slightly cooler on 13. Hope you've been keeping warm, Rakaya 14. And in Darfield, Leaston and Ralston, a lucky 13 degrees today. Same for you in Christchurch and Lincoln, 13 degrees. Over in Akaroa, you have had the low for the region on a mild 12. Crossing into the Waimakariri district, Kaipui and Rangiora 13. And as we take a look at how Amberley was today, much the same on 13. Heading inland to the Hurunui, Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot, the same on 13. And can't forget about Kaikoura, 13 degrees. Will you need a raincoat tomorrow? Let's take a look. In Timaru, low cloud at first, breaking with sunny periods increasing during the afternoon. Expect light winds. Tonight's low 8 degrees, tomorrow's high 15. A dull start for your Wednesday, Ashburton, but do expect sunny periods increasing during the days as winds tend to northeasterly. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 15. Much better weather tomorrow than today in the Garden City. Mostly cloudy in Christchurch, but a few breaks during the afternoon with light winds. Tonight's low 8 degrees and tomorrow's high will be 14. And heading up north to Kaikoura, mostly cloudy and cool for your Wednesday with light winds. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 14 degrees. Around Canterbury, Temuka and Geraldine. Cloudy for most parts of the day with a high of 15 and low of 8. Methven 15 and for you there as well, Rakaya 15. Darfield and Leaston not much different, a high of 15 and low of 8. Same for you, Ralston and Lincoln, a low of 8 and a high of 15. And over in Akaroa, cloud expected all day with a high of 15. Heading to North Canterbury, Kaikoura, Rangiora and Amberley, a low of 8 and a high of 15. And in the Hurunui, Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot, a high of 15 and a cloudy low of 8. Looking ahead for Canterbury, humid on Thursday and Friday with skies mostly cloudy, but a few brief sunny periods possible at times, light to moderate northeasterly winds, some areas of fog possible at night. Fine and sunny on Saturday morning, but becoming cloudy during the afternoon with cold southwesterly winds freshening and some showers expected at night time. Showers clearing on Sunday with moderate cool southerly winds dying out and remaining cloudy. Cloudy also on Monday with drizzle patches in morning and night and freshening northeasterly winds. That's all for your regional weather tonight. Wrap up warm and have a wonderful evening.
And that's CTV News for Tuesday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.